Hey everyone, I'm Emma Wharton-Love, co-founder of Spark AI. Welcome back to AI Summer School. Today we got Mette Davis with us. Welcome, Mette.
Thank you, and thank you very much for having me.
Oh, well, thanks for being on. So this is part of our series where we go behind the scenes of our AI Accelerator program. And that program is a 3-month collaboration with agencies and in-house teams where we go really from experimenting with AI right through structured adoption. And each week over the summer, actually late summer, because we only started last week, each week over summer, every Wednesday at 11, we're doing a free demo of either a kind of an exercise we do in AI Accelerator or like a framework we use as a way of thinking, that kind of thing. So episode 1 last week was with Jules, and we'd explored image prompting. And today, Mette and I are looking at client services, specifically on the onboarding process in client services.
Yes,
we are. So I might just start off before we jump straight into the tools, Mette, to just ask a bit about your background. Who are you? Where are you from? And I know. How did you come to start working with us around AI?
Yeah, of course. So I started my career as an account exec back in the late 1990s. So I started at a global ad agency. And I quickly extended my remit into digital, which was really on the move. And that was during the dot-com boom. So I've worked for global ad networks, co-founded a marketing agency, and have also ran a 10 million quid P&L for a digital consulting firm. And throughout my career, I've had client services and new business director roles, and I was client services director in a couple of those roles as well. And then over the past 10 years, I have worked with client services teams as part of my offering. And I've always had a leaning towards the strategic and creative end of client services. So when I'm not working with the wonderful team at Spark AI, I'm also course leader for the Canline Creative MBA. And how I came to work with you. So I'm going to make a bit of a confession, Emma, to everyone. I know. I am naturally disorganized. People think that I'm super on it, and they think that I'm really well organized. But but in the background, it is initially quite chaotic, and so I have to work really hard at being structured and organized. So within what I was doing with Canline, we were doing quite a bit around AI, and I thought, oh my goodness, how can I use it myself to help with my organization skills and help other client services people? So I'd been looking at it in the background, and what I was doing for myself selfishly was wanting to take away some of those process headaches so that it would enable me to focus on the higher value things, the things that really matter to me and that, bring me the most fulfillment. So when you came to me with the opportunity to work with you as a coach for Spark AI, I absolutely jumped on it. Because for me, the focus on the potential of AI to help reshape the creative landscape in a positive way and help agencies and marketers use it in order to improve processes and also to improve creativity so that they could spend their time on other things was really appealing to me. So that's how I came to work with you. But I think also that you and Jules had both been to one each of my training sessions.
We had a few years ago, yeah. Because we started AI Accelerator with just the design stream and the leadership stream and the strategy stream, and there was a real need for client services in there. So it was a beautiful dovetailing. But that brings me on to, I think client services can be quite tough right now. Like there's lower budgets often, like higher expectations, and the constant admin you were just talking about.
And I do feel like client services is in a really tough spot because you are the agency glue, right? You're stuck between a rock and a hard place often, where you have got your clients with their lower budgets yet higher expectations, your creative and strategic teams wanting to do super high quality work. And, clients are also putting more pitches out, increasing agency competition. So the role has become so much broader, actually. But yet we still have these mountains of admin. And we're constantly switching context because we are often working on multiple clients at the same time as well. So it is it's a tricky, it's a tricky thing for client services individuals, I think, and for teams to keep ahead of everybody else almost.
It is, but AI is a wonderful tool in that.
Indeed.
So shall we jump in? I know you got a few slides.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, okay. I just need to add them to the screen. Bear with me a second. There we go.
Great. So Emma and I were just talking about some of the challenges that we face in client services. And for me, I've just been talking about my mindset in terms of I've always been more that sort of strategic, creative client services person. So what I believe is a great client services person is us needing to make this shift from reactive brief takers, as it were, to then becoming true strategic partners to those clients. And that is where the real value lies. It also lies when you're working with internal teams as well, because the better that you are and the more strategic you are, the more that you'll help out your internal teams. So today, we're actually going to tag team a bit, aren't we? So you're going to be my glamorous assistant throughout most of it, very glamorous. And we are going to show you how to use AI to set up a client project or a gem, quickly develop, and that's going to enable us to quickly develop a deeper understanding of our client's context. And then we are going to create a very simple onboarding document for briefing. Now, at Spark AI, we are tool agnostic, but today we're going to show you using Gemini, because I think that is probably, we couldn't get through all of it in the time that we have today.
Yeah, and actually, I don't normally use Gemini every day, so it's going to be very good for me. I would often use ChatGPT for no other reason than I'm just very used to them. But
yeah, I think people do get used to them, don't they? But yeah, when we're thinking about what a great client setup looks like, for me, it's so much more than who is the client, what's their name, and what do they do. We really want to understand our client's world, and that's the business and the brand context. So thinking about objectives, challenges, also understanding our individual clients as well. So what's important to who, because different stakeholders can have very, very different objectives and pressures, actually. Then we also want to be able to anticipate better the risks and barriers that we might face as an agency and on specific projects. And what this does in turn is it then enables us to be way more proactive and better set up for success when it comes to briefing and throughout the work that we do. So just giving you a little bit of a sneak peek into how we work on Accelerator. We tend to use a method we like, that we're using the 3Ds here, aren't we? So firstly, demonstrate. So we show you how to do something, then you'll have a go at doing it yourself. Then we take time to discuss it. So it's all about experimentation. It's about getting things wrong. It's about having a bit of a play. And actually recently, one of the things that we have started to integrate is on the Accelerator, we have a one-day workshop, but then we have 4 check-ins as well. So in the check-ins, what we're going to be starting to do is we will be developing workflows for you based in different areas.
Yeah, so we'll be building the stuff that we discussed, basically. But B doesn't really fit with the acronyms, so not on here at the moment. We need to find a D that says build. Yeah.
Maybe we could do it in a different language. We'll do it in a different language. So today's client is totally made up all through AI, and it is Fable Foods. So Fable Foods are a premium vegan meat company, and they are on a mission. So, they really want plant-based choices to become mainstream and accessible. They're super sustainable and health conscious. And actually they want to make plant-based living aspirational. So this is the context that we are starting off with today. So this is the client that we're going to be demoing on. You know, one of the ways that we work and the way that we think is that the AI is only as good as the human who is sitting behind it. So it's the heart and the head behind the massive head, and you know, the mega brain that sits within an AI. So, but it's so important what we put into it. So we use the structure or the framework think, AI think. So we're thinking about what it is that we want to do first. We will then brief the AI, then we will get the responses, and then we will challenge it. We will ask it additional questions. So we don't just say yes to the first thing that comes out. It's really important that we're inputting ourselves. Right.
Mette, someone today talked about that in a different way, which I found really helpful as well. It might be to some other people too. It's like to think of yourself as the project manager of AI, like don't let it flip around the other way, like remain in control. And I think that kind of like that is another nice way of remembering to always think about what your brief is for it first, and then in different ways.
Yeah, and I think when you start using it, it can be really overwhelming, can't it? And you can get carried away by the amount of information that comes back. So it's very important for us to keep the human at the heart, as we say. Right, I'm going to hand over to you, and you are going to create a gem.
Okay, I am. Hold on, let me just present my screen. Okay. All ready to go. I am in Gemini.
So we want to go into creating a gem. So explore gems on the left-hand side. All of these tools are pretty similar. So in ChatGPT, it's a project, and in Copilot, it's an agent, but they pretty much do the same thing, don't they?
Yeah, and so if you've got a Google Workspace subscription, you've got Gemini for free in your Google Workspace. It's just Gemini. Type in Gemini to Google; it will come up. You don't need the web address.
Yeah. Right. So click on new gem. So the first thing that we're going to do is to add a name. So you can see in the name section near the top, please may you put Fable Foods.
Of course. There you go.
Excellent. Right, so we've got that in, and you can see it thinking. The next thing that we want to do is we want to give it some instructions. And so for this, the way that I think about it is, how do you want your gem to respond? So how do you want the project to respond? So you should consider a few things here. So who are they? Who might they be? So in this instance, Emma, what have you thought about for yours?
Well, I have pre-written this.
Oh, look.
This guy is they're a curious, strategic, relationship-driven client services professional working for a marketing agency. I want this person to work for me.
I know.
Oh, great.
I know. All the things that we need from them. So you've got a bit of context there. So that's who are they, and then what's the tone of voice that you want them to use? So it might be your agency tone of voice, it might be the tone of voice of the client. You're thinking about that as you would do any brand. So they're coming, you know, they are your brand. So Emma, in here, you're approachable, knowledgeable, jargon-free. So for me, actually, that's something that moves on to the next point I would make, which is think about the sort of language that you want them to use. They are, you know, they can be quite clunky and quite corporate and quite American in terms of the ways that they respond. So I will tend to always put UK English, jargon-free, avoid specific types of words, things like that. That brings it. I think it brings it to life more, and it means that it's much more personalised. Then the other.
I was just going to say, in here, you could also go into, like you said, Mette, you could go into like loads more detail if you had it and if you wanted to on the brand, tone of voice. If you absolutely hate M dashes, you could tell it to not do M dashes. You could do all that. You could be super specific. This is just for the sake of this demo.
Yeah. And then the final thing is for me, so I need structure. So I would then ask them or I would tell them how I want it, tell them how I want it to be structured in the responses.
And then you can also get Gemini to rewrite it in a way that thinks it's better using this little button here. We won't do that today, but it's worth a try. You can always go better over.
I did do that on something earlier, and it came out. It was not as good as my first one, but that's good. It just sort of gives you the option, and actually you can then undo it, which is the beauty of it, right? So we've now given it instructions. The next thing that we're going to do is upload some files
down here in this knowledge bit.
Yes, in the knowledge bit. So we're gonna. So what we want you to think about here is what we know about them. So the types of files that you have available. So it might be things like a company overview, an annual report, brand guidelines, Emma, to your point around the instructions there, any market research, and then it could be also information about key stakeholders, but you can put, anything really is data here that you can add. So, oh wow, you've done it already. So Emma has now uploaded a number of documents. This shows you how quick it is to do.
Can I take you through what I just uploaded? So
yeah.
we've got an overview of Fable Food. So just who they are, what they do, what their mission is. We've got a typical persona of Fable Food employees, I think.
Yeah, this is the client stakeholders. This is
client stakeholders. Yeah. So the key client stakeholders, what their goals, challenges, opportunities, etc. is. Got their brand guidelines attached as well. So like the tone of voice, brand personality, color palette, typography, all that lovely stuff. The messaging pillars, and then their annual report for lots of background.
Yeah.
I think that's
so and there are limits depending on which tool you use to the number of files that you can upload as well. So it depends on which one you're using, but don't overload it with too much in this instance, because you can add more as you go. But in time, you can add meeting notes to it. You can add client emails to it builds up knowledge. So once you have done that, let's not forget to save it. Oh, very good. She's there. So Emma is now saving. So that's it. So we have now saved a gem. So this is our client project, and that is the basis for which we're going to be doing our next exercise. So we're now going to go back into the
slides.
Yes.
Yeah. Hold on a sec.
Marvelous. So we have done that. We decided that we were going to do it live. So that is it. So we're all set up. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to create an onboarding document. So the challenge that we have set ourselves is that we have a new account manager joining the team, and we want to get them set up as fast as possible, so that they're going to be in a position to start adding value to the work, and so that they really understand the client more as well. So this one's not as fun as the last one. So what we have is we've got our gem that we've created, and we're going to use that as the basis to create our onboarding document. So I'm just going to walk you through this rather than Emma doing it in real time here. So we need to remember, think AI, think, so we need to brief it well. So here's an example of a not very good prompt, and a not very good prompt is a bit lazier really. It's a give me an overview of the client context. So it doesn't really give you that much, doesn't give the AI that much information. So what we want to be is much more specific. Now, I know this looks like a lot on the screen, but good prompts are long, particularly when you're setting them up initially. So I'll talk you through what we do here, but we want to have a longer prompt because we get a much better response out. So the more that you put in, the more time you put in up front, the better it will be. What I tend to do is I will write it on, on a notepad on my laptop, so that I'm able to keep playing with it and refine it. But it will save you so much time doing a decent prompt up front. We have a little cheeky structure, as one of our coaches has named it. So the way that we do it is it's the character, the instructions, the criteria, and the inputs. I'll talk you through them now. So it's the character, the instructions, the criteria, and the inputs. Then what you can see is what you saw before, but I'll talk you through it. So the character, again, this is who you want your AI to be. Obviously, we've put that already into our gem or our project, but it's good to have that up front. Then you want to be explicit around the instructions. So in this example, I have asked for a concise summary between 400 to 600 words. And it gives relevant information around the client's current situation. So I've been really explicit in terms of the topics that I want it to go through. We've got business objectives, brand objectives, client stakeholder landscape, sector insights, risks, challenges, and barriers, and then potential opportunities for the agency, which is where the real value starts to come in, actually. So you're then briefing it on the type of language. Then with the criteria, going into much more detail. So you've put, you're more explicit about the length as well. And then the inputs, what we've got is any documents that you might want to add to. So we've already got these documents in our gem, but if you wanted to add more in there, you could do that. So that's an example of a cheeky prompt. So what you can, say.
I was just going to say, a really good extra thing to add in would be, like, you might have just had a briefing call with the client, and then just adding the transcript in would be great, the email exchanges, all that stuff.
Yeah, funny you should say that, because I did exactly that after a client intro meeting last week, and it was priceless. It was so useful. So thank you for allowing me to share that. So then on the right hand side, what you can see is I'm then copying and pasting my prompt into my gem, and we've got all of the information there. I then will click on the send button.
Mette, I might do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go live.
Do it.
Yeah. Okay. Hang on. Right. I have copied and pasted the mega prompt, the cheeky prompt, and let's see what it does. It's going to take a minute. It's going to have a look at what it's doing. It's having a really good read of the prompt.
Into the mega brain.
Yep. Here we go. It's giving you exactly what you've asked for.
Perfect. Now, I've realised that when I did this, one thing that I didn't put in was capturing some of the latest news. So I then wonder whether we should go and do that, so we can add to it.
The latest news in this sector?
So latest news in the sector, and the types of stuff that I might add in here might be some of their competitors. I might add in particular, so Fable Foods, so publications like The Grocer are going to be really important, but it could be, in the vegan and health food sector.
Mm-hmm.
very fast typing.
Still two-finger typing.
Is it? It doesn't sound like two-finger typing. Confessions on a webinar.
So if this wasn't quickly on a webinar, this prompt would be a lot longer, probably not as long as that initial prompt, but it would have more direction behind it than, So should I give it a go?
Yeah, so give it a go, but then I will then go back to mine, and I can show you what I ended up getting.
Perfect. Okay, so
there we go. They've already, they've pulled out those competitors themselves. So
excellent. And the consumer trends.
Yeah.
Great. And then I could go in now and just ask them to add this into the onboarding brief for the new colleague.
Yeah.
Should I switch you back to your presentation? There we go.
Yes. So, there we go. Right. So, so what I'm showing you now is what I will tend to do is I will copy and paste the final version into a Word document, brand it up nicely, and then save it afterwards. So this is one thing that I've definitely done before. Forgotten to upload the document into my Gem. So paste them into a Google Doc or a Word doc, give them a recognizable name so it'll be easy to come back to, and then save them as PDFs in your Gem or project or for your agent if you're using Copilot. And do make sure that you're updating regularly with the newest approved versions as well. That's a bit of housekeeping from a naturally disorganized person.
And there is also now a button at the bottom of the conversation in Gemini that allows you to directly turn it into a Google Doc as well now. And you can point the Gem at the specific folder that all your information is about this particular client. So you could do it that way as well. Just with these things, there's multiple ways of working. It just depends on what and you can meld it to your normal way of working.
And I think they're updating all the time, aren't they? So as soon as one does something, then another will follow suit and do something similar. So in that short amount of time, we have set up a client project or a Gem that enables you to, you can build on and you can use it to inform everything that you do with that client. And we've also quickly created a client summary document so that you can use it for onboarding for our new account manager, but also actually for any other internal team members.
Did I remember right that you did a poll before that we did this to see how long this kind of process would normally take without AI?
Yeah, I did. I did a poll, and what I found was not what I found. So what respondents said actually was that I think it was 20, maybe 23% or 25% said that it took them over a day to do the setup and onboarding document. Then 50% of people had said that it was half a day, sort of around half a day. And then there were some super organized, very efficient people who said it would take sort of 2 to 3 hours to do. That is a prime example actually of how it can really save you time, but also you can get additional value from it too. In this example, what we did was we've already spotted a couple of opportunities before we've been briefed. So it enables you to go into those client conversations much better, much better onboarded and informed, so you can add value right from the start.
Absolutely. And if you want to take it, I mean, obviously, in sort of real life, you work much more into that onboarding brief, and you say, actually, I need a bit more about that, and what about the client sentiment on this, and all that kind of stuff. But an extra thing you could then do, which we were just chatting about before when we went live, is that I'd probably then take it into a Google Notebook LM, so that you could then share all the client information because they're shareable within your team. with people with the same email address domain. So yeah, that's probably the next stage. So fab, Mette, thank you so much. It's really, really helpful. And this is this is just a snippet of the client services module from AI Accelerator, and that just in the 1-day workshop of that, you go through, I think it's either 7 or 8 sort of much more detailed versions of this exercise. Is that right? Have I got that number right?
8 exercises.
Okay, and then beyond that, once you've learned the skills, we then coach you over 3 months to help you build detailed workflows with all that you've learned in that day. So yeah, I'll just quickly tell you about Accelerator before we go. So there we go. We've got AI for Client Services down the bottom, but there are, oh, I've got a call coming in from Jules. I'm going to decline it. Goodness.
No, Jules.
I know. So we also talk about, we also run a work stream for AI for leaders. So that's designed for the board. He's still calling me. Hang on, I'm going to keep turning that off. And AI for strategists and also for designers. And we normally start with a leadership program where we define a clear AI vision and roadmap, and then we go deeper with each of the different teams within the business to do that, to enhance skills. So at the end of 3 months, you have an internal task force that are driving forward the AI program. You have a 12-month AI roadmap tailored to your really specific goals and your specific positioning. You have deep AI skills across all those different teams, AI-enabled workflows, comprehensive prompt libraries, an AI policy that your staff are trained on and really aligned to, an AI-forward innovation culture. A large part of this is change management as much as it is the tech. And really importantly, particularly for client services, is a plan. You'll have it by the end of it. You have a really clear plan of how to speak to your clients confidently about AI. So that's it from us today. We are going to be back. I'm going to be back next week, same time, same place, probably in the same phone booth in the office, talking to another one of our AI coaches, Matthew Maxwell, where we'll be taking a use case from the AI for Designers stream of AI Accelerator. So
he was the brainchild of Cheeky.
He was the cheeky guy. Okay.
Cheeky guy, yeah.
Fantastic. Fab. Well, I will see you then. But Mette, thank you so much. So much for today. It's really helpful, really insightful. And I hope those of you can go away and start implementing this stuff straight away. Great.
See you later.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.